We all know that sharks are one of the most feared predators in the ocean. But what happens when they mess with the wrong opponent? Recently, there have been some incredible stories of people standing up to these deadly creatures and coming out on top. Get ready to be amazed as these fearless opponents take on some of the ocean's most notorious predators. From quick reflexes to expert techniques, these epic showdowns prove that when sharks mess with the wrong opponent, they're in for a serious fight and you won't believe who comes out on top. Now, let's begin. Our first clip features leopard seal versus shark. Alright, after watching this one, you're going to feel bad for the sharks, as now it's the leopard seal's turn to bash apex predators. Well, right at the start, there's an intense brawl going on, but it's hard to figure out who's hurting who. But as the video goes on, see how lone leopard seal tackles a shark who mistook it for an easy meal and won't let go until it teaches the treacherous fish a lesson. And just look at the way it smacks sharks almost out of the water. Oh, that's going to leave a mark. Watching this just makes me more scared of seals and sharks. The only thing a shark can do here is run for its life. Next up, we have dog versus shark. After watching this clip, I'm sure you're going to love your dog more. Check out this pup who would even fight the apex predator to protect its loved one. Even though the shark was hooked, the doggy began barking and jumping recklessly to attack the shark. But the canine hero does not stop there, as even when the fish gets pulled out of the water, it stands guard barking. Isn't it the cutest thing ever? Guys, let's look at the showdown between Jack and the shark. The moment the Alaskan dog saw the finished fish, it dashed at it, and you can see how the shark is struggling and cannot compete with the dog. Moving on, diver defeat shark. Okay, we got to give credit to the bull shark for this ambush attack. Staying invisible in the ocean water till the last few seconds, the bull shark was moving towards the diver at a remarkable speed and then popping right on his face. It gave him just milliseconds to decide and, well, there it was. Unfortunately, a harsh but necessary decision, as the diver defends itself with the only thing available to him. Otherwise, it would have become the meal of a hungry bull shark. Moving on, injured shark being one of the scariest predators doesn't necessarily mean that you can come out unscathed, rather, comes out at a staggering price. In January 2021, during an expedition by the Neptune Island in South Australia, scuba divers encountered this amazingly looking, battle-hardened shark that was casually passing by. From the eye fins, gills all the way to the tail, it had dozens of scars and scratch markings all over its body. It is probably great whites such as these that still maintain its reputation for being the apex predator in the ocean. Moving on, shark against crocodiles. Now this is what we call the clash of the titans. Who do you think would win in a one-on-one fight? Go ahead, place your bets, and let's see a small bummer. The clash of crocs and sharks is rarely sighted and is even rarer to document. So, the only available footage shows us a 13-foot saltwater crocodile and a 10-foot tiger shark scavenging on a dead whale. Now, as soon as the shark spotted the crocodile, it swam away. Even when food is scarce, sharks and crocs are not known to hunt each other a lot. A similar incident was once recorded when a bull shark was seen swimming towards a huge saltwater crocodile. But she changed her path as soon as she realized the presence of the croc. In another one-on-one interaction, two sharks were seen bullying a massive croc to steal its food. But the croc didn't have any of it. It bit one on its tail and the other one was quick to back off. Only great whites are known to hunt saltwater crocodiles, which is very occasional. The only speculated documented visuals of a shark versus croc fight was the severed head of a crocodile that washed up on a beach in South Africa, which was assumed to have been attacked by a great white. See you next time. Next up, we have shark against giant Pacific octopus. Now this looks like an unusual pair of rivals, but wait. Wait till you see these two fight each other. It's a wish that comes true for giant octopuses whenever they see a shark approaching. As soon as the opponent comes in striking range, the octopus launches itself at the shark. The sucker-like arms cover the gills of the shark, and before long, the shark becomes a history lesson for others to learn. Octopuses become a bit territorial when it comes to sharks invading their space. One such account of aggressiveness of these 9-brained creatures was recorded at the Seattle Aquarium. The authorities made a giant Pacific octopus share a tank with sharks so that he learns to live in a competitive environment. Only that they started finding the bodies of the spiny dogfish sharks. They installed cameras and found this out. Yep, the clever octopus was wiping out the entire population of sharks one by one. And guess what? Those sharks were not even a match for it. Okay, but now, don't jump to conclusions that octopuses are just shark killers. A lot depends on the size and circumstances of the fight as well. For example, look at this shark. It took her like a second to gulp that spaghetti down. The ink of the octopus which it shoots while escaping came out of the gills of the shark. Moving on, lemon shark against barracuda. This lemon baby shark is swimming like a gangster until the real boss comes in. Fuck, now we've slowed down the clip for you, but even at a slow speed, the barracuda doesn't slow down. No doubt they are the bullets of the ocean rock. Barracudas are predatory, ray-thin fish known for their fearsome appearance and ferocious behavior. For reference, look. This fisherman caught a barracuda who was putting up a good fight when a shark saw all this and jumped into the situation to grab the fish its prey. No, not with the barracuda on the scene though. The fish was already exhausted. It put up a good fight and chased away the shark. What this shark did is common predatory behavior. Bigger animals, when they see a smaller animal in distress, they tend to attack it for an easy meal. It happens all the time in the oceans. This clip is the reason why I think going in the oceans is an idea that never came out of the mind of a sane man. And now let's look at this shark. It is half-eaten and it's still alive and moving. No, there's no mystery behind this. The shark was hooked, and whilst it was hooked, it was attacked by a bigger shark who took away a bigger chunk of its body. But oh my god, this is the last sort of thing I wanted to see. Now about the previous clip that was recorded off the coast of Florida, where anglers reeled in a shark which was attacked by a bigger, more monstrous shark. It chomped on the tail of the shark, and horrifyingly enough, the hooked shark continued to thrash about with no tail, while other sharks started to circle the bloody water for a free feast of their own blood. Moving on, polar bear versus walrus. Polar bears are by no means small. An adult male can weigh over PS 1500 and measure over 9 ft, so no one would ever be brave or perhaps silly enough to challenge one to a fight. And if you're a source of food, then you really don't stand a chance. Or do you? A polar bear stumbled upon a large herd of walrus. Walruses are no small fries themselves. Growing up to around 4 PS 400 and featuring tusks up to 3 ft 3 inches long and PS 12, the polar bear has met its match. As the walrus form a wall to protect their young and elderly, the polar bear waltzed up to the walrus herd and tried to grab any outliers it could get its hands paws on. Some of the walrus used their tusks as weapons, and the polar bear must avoid being stabbed by some that appear to be a couple of feet long. But even after trying as hard as possible to sink its teeth into a delicious and blubbery walrus, the poor polar bear fails and misses out on dinner. Unfortunately, that may not be the first or last time polar bears are now classed as a vulnerable species due to habitat loss brought about by climate change. Thanks for tuning in to watch these incredible and heart-pumping moments of sharks meeting their match. Remember, these are some of the deadliest creatures in the ocean, but sometimes they mess with the wrong opponents. If you found this video interesting, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel for more thought-provoking content. We appreciate your support and look forward to sharing more exciting videos with you in the future. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more exciting videos, then click on one of the following videos.